Rain had been falling for hours, soft at first, then steadily, turning the city into a world of reflections and silver streaks. Clara sat by her apartment window, cup of coffee untouched, staring at the streets below. She hated these rainy nights, not because of the rain, but because they brought her thoughts closer to herself, unrelenting and honest. Thoughts she didn't always want to face. She thought of Elias. Of his laugh, warm and quiet, the way his hand brushed hers as if by accident, the way his presence could turn ordinary moments into something almost sacred. And she remembered the first collision, the spilled papers, the shared laughter that had sparked something she couldn't yet name. She had never believed in love at first sight, yet she remembered it as vividly as a scar. Sudden, sharp, and unforgettable. But love, she was learning, wasn't only about moments of warmth. It came with fear, hesitation, and doubt so persistent they sometimes felt like storms themselves. Elias, on the other side of the city, sat on a park bench, umbrella closed, watching raindrops fall into puddles. He replayed their last argument over and over in his mind, every pause, every word he could have said differently. He was terrified of losing her, yet every fear seemed amplified by silence. He wondered if love was really enough, or if the gaps between them were already too wide to bridge. Their story was never simple. Weeks of laughter could be interrupted by a single misunderstanding, a missed message, a delayed call, a fleeting glance misinterpreted. Clara remembered the night she had stayed late at work, thinking a brief delay wouldn't matter. Elias had waited, worried, silent, and when she finally arrived, their words had collided like waves. The hurt had lingered longer than the storm outside, and for days, neither knew how to reach the other without reopening old wounds. Clara's thoughts swirled as she sipped her coffee. She questioned herself constantly. Was she too intense? Too cautious? Too afraid to let someone in fully? And then she remembered Elias' eyes, the way he looked at her when she spoke about her passions, when she laughed at something absurd, when she cried quietly in a corner of her apartment. Those eyes held patience and understanding, but also a vulnerability that mirrored her own. Days later, they met again at the cafe where they had first talked for hours without noticing the time. Rain soaked them both, yet the familiar warmth between them eased the tension. They talked carefully at first, testing words like stepping stones, afraid to misstep. Then Clara spoke. "I've been thinking about us," she said softly, avoiding his gaze. "About how fragile it feels. About how easy it is to misunderstand everything, even when we try." Elias reached for her hand, tentative. "I know. I've felt it too. And I've been scared, maybe more than I should admit. But I can't stop thinking about you, about us." The words hung in the air, heavy with meaning. They were both aware of the stakes, the risk of vulnerability, the fear of disappointment, but something unspoken compelled them to stay, to try again. Their relationship grew in bursts of intensity and quiet reflection. Some days were filled with laughter and closeness, others with silence and small disagreements. Every misunderstanding was magnified by love, every reconciliation deepened it. Clara kept journals of her thoughts, Elias kept notes of his fears, and together they learned the delicate dance of patience, honesty, and trust. Months passed. They experienced moments of jealousy, moments of doubt, moments when past hurts threatened to creep back into their hearts. Clara worried that Elias might grow distant, that life's pressures would pull them apart. Elias feared he wasn't enough, that his flaws might overshadow the love he felt. And yet, in the quiet moments, the hand held in the dark, the shared meal without words, the knowing glance across a crowded room, they found reassurance. They discovered that love wasn't about perfection, but about commitment. Choosing each other despite fear, despite uncertainty. One night, after a misunderstanding about an invitation she hadn't received, they argued on a bridge overlooking the river, rain falling hard, drumming on the asphalt. Words were exchanged in frustration, voices raised, tears falling. Clara turned away, trembling. Elias wanted to run after her, but hesitated, unsure if his presence would comfort or worsen the pain. Hours passed. They both sat alone, listening to the rain and their own thoughts. And then, slowly, Clara turned back, walking through the mist. Elias was there, waiting silently, hands outstretched. "I don't want to lose us," she whispered. "You won't," he replied. "Not if we face everything together, even the fear, even the silence, even the storms." They embraced under the rain, soaked, trembling, yet in that moment completely certain. Love was not a fairy tale, not a smooth path. It was messy, it was challenging, it was terrifying. But it was theirs, chosen, nurtured, and resilient. Years later, they would walk along the river on quiet evenings, hand in hand, watching reflections shimmer in the water. Arguments would come, and doubts would still surface, but they had learned the greatest lesson. Love is not about avoiding storms, but about weathering them together, choosing each other every day, in moments large and small. In the end, love for Clara and Elias was not a sudden epiphany, nor a perfect moment frozen in time. It was the culmination of courage, honesty, patience, and relentless choice. And in that quiet, persistent choosing, they discovered what the heart had always known. Love, real love, is not about never falling, but about finding each other in the fall, and holding on through everything that life dares to throw. Weeks turned into months, and life, as always, tested them in ways neither had expected. Clara found herself caught between longing and fear. She loved Elias more than she thought possible, yet every moment of joy seemed fragile, like it could shatter with a single misstep. She would lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying tiny details from the day. His slight hesitation when she mentioned her old friends, the way he frowned when she laughed at something he didn't understand. Each detail became a question she could not answer. Does he feel the same depth I do? Does he see me clearly, or only what he wants to see? Elias, too, wrestled with uncertainty. He loved her, fiercely, completely, but that love was not without fear. He feared losing her to someone better, someone who could be simpler, easier, less complicated. He feared the storm within himself. His past mistakes, his insecurities, the quiet doubt that sometimes whispered that he wasn't worthy of her. He tried to hide it, tried to act steady and calm, but Clara, perceptive and honest, always noticed. One evening, after a long day filled with small tensions, they sat in the same cafe where it all began. Rain tapped gently against the window. Silence stretched between them. Clara finally spoke, her voice trembling, but determined. Elias, I can't keep wondering about us like this. I need to know, are we choosing each other, truly, every day? He looked at her, eyes soft, heart aching. Clara, I have never been more certain of anything in my life. But love isn't just certainty. It's choosing, even when we doubt ourselves, even when fear tries to take over. I choose you, every day. But you have to choose yourself, too, because love can't live in fear. Her hands gripped the edge of the table. His words sank into her chest like rain into soil. She realized then that her doubts had less to do with him and more to do with herself. She had been afraid of vulnerability, afraid of trusting someone so completely, afraid of falling and not being caught. I'm scared, she admitted, voice barely above a whisper. Scared of losing myself in this. Scared of losing you. And you won't, he said, taking her hands into his. We'll face it together. We'll face every fear, every misunderstanding, every mistake. Together. The tension broke, not with a dramatic gesture, but with a shared breath, a quiet acknowledgement that they were no longer alone in their fears. That night, as they walked home under umbrellas that barely protected them from the rain, they talked openly, about insecurities, about past pain, about dreams that had seemed too fragile to share. For the first time, their hearts felt aligned not because the world was perfect, but because they were willing to navigate its imperfections together. Life, as always, brought challenges. Days when work, obligations, and family demands threatened to pull them apart. Days when words were misinterpreted, when jealousy and pride flared unexpectedly. But every test strengthened their bond. Each moment of doubt became a lesson in patience, each argument a chance to understand one another more deeply. Clara began to notice the subtle ways Elias supported her. Not with grand gestures, but in small, consistent acts. A cup of tea left on her desk after a long day, a note tucked into her bag, a hand on her back when the world felt too heavy. And Elias noticed Clara's growth too, her bravery, her honesty, her willingness to face her own fears, even when it meant confronting him, confronting herself, confronting the rawness of love. There were nights when they argued until exhaustion overtook them, when doors slammed and tears flowed freely. And there were nights when they held each other in silence, letting the city's rain drown out their doubts, finding comfort in simple presence. Each storm, emotional or literal, became a bridge rather than a wall, carrying them closer rather than farther apart. One particularly harsh winter, Clara fell ill. Fevered and fragile, she lay in bed, shivering under blankets. Elias sat beside her, refusing to leave, reading her favorite book aloud when her voice failed. Watching him, she realized that love wasn't just passion, wasn't just the thrill of connection, it was endurance. It was showing up, even when it was inconvenient, even when it was exhausting, even when nothing spectacular would happen. Love, she understood, was the quiet persistence of care, the unwavering choice to be present. Months turned into years. Rain became a familiar companion, a reminder of their first meeting, of the fragility and the beauty of life. They traveled, laughed, fought, healed. They learned to navigate misunderstandings not as threats but as opportunities for growth. And always, they returned to each other, hand in hand, hearts aligned by shared courage and trust. Clara often thought back to that first rainy evening, the collision that had seemed like chaos at the time. She realized now that life had been gently steering them toward each other, not by fate, not by luck, but by the quiet insistence of choices made with honesty and courage. Elias had been a mirror, reflecting not only the best parts of her but also the fears she needed to confront. And she had been the same for him. Years later, standing on the bridge where they once argued, rain falling softly, Clara looked at Elias, her heart full, her doubts almost entirely gone. "I love you," she said simply. "I know," he replied, smiling gently, eyes warm and unwavering. "And I love you, not for perfection, not for ease, but for choosing to be brave with me, every single day." And in the quiet of the rain, with the city lights shimmering on the water, they understood that love was not about perfect moments, but about imperfect hearts choosing each other over and over. Not in grand declarations, not in dramatic gestures, but in the daily, quiet acts of trust, patience, courage, and unwavering presence. The storm continued around them, as it always would. And together, they walked through it, not as two separate souls clinging to convenience, but as two hearts fully awake, fully alive, and fully committed to the shared journey of love. Winter had returned, harsher than ever. The city was blanketed in snow, streets slick with ice, and the cold seemed to seep into every corner of life. Clara and Elias had grown closer over the years, yet even the strongest bonds are tested, and theirs was no exception. It began with a misunderstanding, small at first, almost laughable, but allowed to fester. A message misread, a schedule crossed, a moment of pride. Words were said that couldn't be taken back. Clara's frustration boiled over, Elias' patience cracked. The snow fell around them, silent witnesses to a storm much louder inside their hearts. "You don't listen." Clara's voice trembled with emotion. "You hear me, but you don't listen. Every time I try to tell you what I need, you twist it into what you think it means." Elias ran a hand through his hair, heart pounding. "And you don't understand. I'm trying, every day. I'm trying to be here for you, to be with you. But you push me away before I even have a chance to explain myself." The air between them crackled. Cold. Painful. They turned away, the distance between them now as physical as the frozen streets. That night, both lay awake in separate rooms, hearts heavy, minds spinning. Clara questioned whether love alone could bridge the gap between fear and misunderstanding. Elias wondered if his efforts would ever be enough. Days passed. Silence became unbearable. Yet, despite the anger, both felt the pull they could not resist, the invisible thread that had drawn them together since that first rainy collision. Fear, frustration, pride, love. All tangled together, impossible to separate. It was Clara who broke first. She walked through the snow to the bridge where they had first reconciled after months of tension, hoping, needing, to see him. There he was, leaning against the railing, staring at the icy water. His shoulders sagged, but when he saw her, something unspoken passed between them. Relief, hope, recognition. "I can't lose us," Clara said, voice breaking, snowflakes melting on her eyelashes. "You won't," Elias whispered, stepping closer, his hand reaching for hers. "We've survived everything else. We can survive this." They talked for hours, words tumbling out in confession, apology, and vulnerability. Each revealed their fears, their insecurities, the private battles they had waged in silence. Tears fell, hearts bared, but something miraculous happened. The storm inside them began to melt. Where pride had built walls, love laid bridges. Where doubt had sown distance, courage planted connection. Finally, Clara whispered, "I've been scared, but I don't want to be without you." "And I've been scared," Elias admitted, But I'd rather face every fear with you than live without you. They embraced, snow swirling around them, cold forgotten, hearts warming with the certainty that had taken years to arrive. That night, as the city slept under white blankets, they walk home hand in hand, words unnecessary, silence comforting, love renewed not in perfection, but in survival, trust, and relentless choice. Years passed. Seasons changed. Rain, snow, sunshine, storms, they faced them together, always choosing each other. Life continued to test them, but the trials became threads in the tapestry of their love, each challenge strengthening, not weakening, their bond. Clara often thought back to the first collision, to the spilled papers, to the laughter under rain. What had seemed chaotic then had been fate only in disguise. Life had brought them together, not by luck, but by quiet insistence, by choice. And love, they learned, was never about waiting for the perfect moment. It was about building the perfect bond from imperfect days, fear, and courage. On a warm summer evening, standing again on the bridge, Elias took Clara's hands in his. "I can't promise there won't be storms," he said softly. "But I can promise that I will always choose you. Every day, through everything." Clara smiled, her heart full. "And I'll always choose you." The city around them moved in its endless rhythm, lights reflecting on the river. But they stood together, hearts aligned, souls unshaken. Love had survived doubt, pride, fear, and distance. Love had endured. And that, they realized, was everything. Together, they walked into the night, not seeking perfection, not demanding ease, but embracing life, storms and all, with courage, honesty, and unwavering love. And in that quiet certainty, the world seemed to hold its breath, acknowledging a love that had been fought for, bled for, and chosen, again and again, until it became unbreakable. 3035, comma. As they walk home that night, the city quiet under the blanket of late summer, Clara felt something shift deep inside her. All the fears, all the doubts, all the moments when she had wondered if love was enough, suddenly seemed distant, almost unreal. She looked at Elias, his hand warm in hers, eyes reflecting the soft glow of street lamps, and thought, "This is what it feels like to be seen completely, and to see someone completely in return." Elias, too, felt the weight of years lift from his shoulders. All the moments he had worried he wasn't enough, all the times he had feared losing her, now seemed small in comparison to the truth standing beside him. That love, when chosen every day, becomes more than passion, it becomes home. He didn't need her to stay because of fear or expectation. She stayed because she wanted to, and that choice, repeated endlessly, was stronger than any storm. They stopped on the small bridge overlooking the river, where the lights reflected like liquid gold. Clara leaned against the railing, exhaling slowly. "Do you ever think about how we started?" she asked softly. Elias smiled. "Every day." That collision in the rain, it felt like chaos, but it was exactly what we needed. Clara laughed quietly, a sound that seemed to harmonize with the gentle ripple of the water below. "I was so afraid, you know? Afraid of losing myself, afraid of being too much, too vulnerable. And yet, here I am." "And here I am," Elias replied, brushing a damp strand of hair from her face. "We were both afraid. But love real love isn't about not being afraid. It's about choosing each other anyway." For a long moment, they simply stood there, hands entwined, hearts aligned. The city hummed softly around them, indifferent yet beautiful, filled with life that would go on regardless. But for them, nothing else mattered. The rain had washed away not just streets, but old insecurities, old doubts. It had carved a space where they could exist fully, honestly, without pretense or fear. Clara rested her head against Elias' shoulder, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. "We'll have storms again," she whispered. "Yes," he said, "but we'll face them together. Always. And somehow, the storms make the calm even more precious."